There we go. Okay, now we can go.
All right, yeah,
Oh, now it's stopped. Whatever happened, stopped it.
Oh, really?
It did.
it's really sensitive, huh?
That's odd.
Has to be.
Maybe
No, it says it's going. Yeah, it's recording. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Yeah, I think,
oh, there it goes.
Yeah, she's back, came back. As long as
Yeah, I'm back. It just took a while.
yeah, it's just gonna be slow, but
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, as I was saying, when this whole thing was formed, the association, through its management, which was Masters Group at first, and then became in Tempest, and now we're using Mangold. The funds were kept at Heritage Bank, and they still are in Saratoga, San Jose. $8,634 in the operating fund, 195,752 in reserve currently. I got that just today. According to Steve, the board tried to transfer the money to another bank as Heritage wasn't paying any interest. So as an example, US Bank, where I have some money, you get 3.5%. 3.5% on over $200,000 a year is $7,000. Yeah, and we're not making that. So why Heritage just doesn't do it, I don't know.
Well, by the way, Frank, last year, we accrued, what a great job Masters Group and Intempus were doing for us. They kept our money where we were getting $50 a year, and we could have been getting 8,000. One of the reasons we've changed management company, I was just like, it's like over the top, outrageous, crazy stuff that we were paying Masters Group and Intempus for 12 years. We're paying $1,500 a month to get this kind of results. Not to mention many other aggravating factors, but I'm venting a little bit here. This is what this is about, so we can start running our own business in a competent and reasonable fashion. So just for the record, the association was formed in February of 2013. So we've been in associations for 12 years. And then, we were with Masters Group for what, 9 years. This meeting and everything else is an effort to try and just get better at what we're trying to do. So, but let's call the meeting. Did we call the meeting to order? Is that?
Well, we did. Guess we didn't.
No.
Not really.
Can you call the meeting to order?
Yeah, this meeting of the Canyon Road Board Association, I'll call it to order. And as we were talking, one of the main components of the meeting will be the finances and where the finances are kept. So Steve, carry on. Yeah, second.
I second it. So we're now it's official.
Yeah. So really, Heritage Bank, I've been dealing with them. And one thing they need is a resolution stating that Mangold has taken the place of Intempus, and that Mangold is in control of our account as the management team. I tried to do that with a letter, but I didn't know that banks don't want signatory, which is me, also being one of the voters on things like that. for obvious reasons, you know, I can sign it with Frank Solicitor, I'll put it in my account. So I understand, and that's why they haven't moved on just me, my sending of
Hi,
that.
Kathy.
They prefer, that I not be, you know, one of the people doing this. So if we get a resolution at a meeting from the board and a vote is taken, that's not Frank Solicitor, the signatory doing it. That's the association. Also, they prefer that the signee, me, not be the one saying that we need to do this and I'm gonna sign a check and. Because again, that could encourage theft. And that kind of stuff's happened. They prefer, you know, like the management of County Row will say, pay the elevator thing and then I'll do that. This just came up because Yates Property, I signed a down payment, sent it in. Heritage sends back a thing from one of their officers saying, what's this money for? Who's requesting this? And that's how I found out that we don't want signees doing the request and also writing the check. And again, that's to prevent theft. So that's when they suggested that, you know, first of all, you need to have a resolution for anything you want to do with this account. So that's one of the reasons we're here.
I hereby make a motion that we have a resolution to move all of our funds from Heritage Bank to US Bank. And that Frank Solicitor, who is our Chief Financial Officer, will be authorized to do so. You want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
So Peter seconds it.
Isn't it just the board that votes?
Well, then,
It could be either or. I think they would prefer,
yeah.
since
on
I'm a board member, they would,
financial matters.
yeah, they would prefer that. It'd be just like this, out in the open, recorded resolution. At least that's the way I understand. They've been. I think we have a vote, all in favor of the motion. Say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'm cutting out a lot, but I guess I know what you're doing, but isn't that just up to the 3 board members that vote?
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But we're doing it, yeah.
We have
Doing it this way.
we have
Oh.
we have a
We
voting
have a quorum? Okay.
forum, so.
Okay, yeah, I definitely vote in favor before I cut out.
We have a quorum.
Yeah, I vote in favor
Okay,
of Frank.
so it's all right, then it has been decided and voted upon that we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And we can start making $8,000 a year instead of $50 interest on our money, which is a good thing. And the other thing, did you want to add to that, Frank? Anything?
Well, I'm thinking probably the way to do it is, you know, record this. I think we put it on Mangold letterhead for the. And then, you know, obviously if it was just Frank's Solicitor or, you know, Steve account, it wouldn't be this complicated.
I was
but-
planning a trip to the Bahamas.
So I think we record this vote. We give it to our manager, management company, Mangold. And the request be made. And actually the way they transfer, they can do interbank transfers because I checked with US Bank. And that's the cleanest way to do it, or they can do a cashier's check, but I like to have them do it between Heritage and US. That way both banks are.
Who's the person we're dealing with at US Bank?
We can deal with the manager, Tina.
And what branch is that?
It's the one on Munros, not the one that closed in Pacific Grove. Right now, Munros is still open. Yeah, I went there one day and everything's gone, and they're moving the furniture out of Silver Grove branch.
Hmm.
All right, good, you got something to add?
Not on that topic, but another thing that we need to address, and I wish Brian was here, or no, what's his name?
Brandon,
Brian.
Brian is also.
Yeah, as you all know, we have parking rights to the garage next door. We have 4 spaces.
Wondering what happened to him.
Yeah, and we know this was been talked about and discussed and defined for many years. It's all written down and it's part of the CCNRs. Part of that agreement was that they were going to put up signs on the wall. We have 4 spaces that are allotted to us, are the ones in the back, the small ones. And the agreement is that they were to put up a sign in front of each one of those 4 spaces, enumerating what the rules are, that members of the association were to have rights to park there every day, 55 days a year, from 11 o'clock in the morning until 6. So we have, it's shared parking. I don't know how long it's been now since they finished the project. Has it been 2 years?
I see the sign is finally gone. I think they sold them all.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think the last one is,
Oh,
no signs up anymore.
no sign?
They had an open house yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I
Okay.
see Pete Ruiz open house, the sign, it's been out for a couple of days. So
I did see somewhere that they were down to 1 unit left though.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, this is all in keeping with the typical way in which Wave Street has treated us. The signs are not there, and they should have been there 2 years ago. And I want to make a resolution that those signs go up. We get Wave Street to honor their agreement to put those signs up. I've come there several times now, and the 4 spaces in the back are occupied. And so the 4 spaces in the front, there was a space. So I've been parking sometimes in the front because they've been blocking the back. And the other day I came in and I parked in one of the spaces in front. And this guy kind of got upset with the space. I go, well, they're not honoring any of the agreement. What are the rules here? So I pulled out, but I mean, it's like, and now if they've sold this 4th unit, things are going to get even. Anyway, we need to address this.
Mhm.
The sign you're talking about, would it say no parking by owners or whatever of property, as these spaces are available for between 11 and 6? I mean, would there be some
Yeah.
designation so that?
It'll designate which of the 4 spaces we have,
Mhm.
and it will specify that they are to be available for our use only, meaning association members, from 11 a.m.
Let's see.
till 6 every day.
But nothing would tell the members of the people. How would they
General
know
public.
they're not supposed to park there? Wouldn't there be something needed to tell the people who own the units that that's not their parking?
That's what these signs would do. It would tell them these 4 spaces need to be
I know,
available.
but would there be somebody to advise them that now these spaces have been, they were
Yeah,
always
well,
designated and you are not to park
hopefully.
in them?
Hopefully they will notify the owners over there. Of this change.
I asked the young man that I spoke to the other day. I said, well, as full disclosure of the properties that you purchased, they should have told you that this easement exists. And he said, yes, he knew about it.
Oh,
So I'm sure that all of the owners of those units have been informed. However, that doesn't mean that their wives, girlfriends, weekend visitors, grandchildren, all these other people. I think there are a lot of people who have been coming and going there. Were not informed. The people who signed and purchased the properties, I'm sure, were fully informed. Anyway.
Then I have another part of the question.
Mhm.
Would it be helpful, once that is established with the signs posted, let members who can park, us people, have some form of a plaque we can put in our windshield when we go and park there?
Yeah, that would be, in fact, we already have the CRAM parking permit, parking, what do you call it?
Placard.
Placard. We'll just start, everybody who wants to do this, we'll put that in their window, yeah. And that way, the people who are the owners and guests and whatnot will know that, yeah, that car right there is an antique dealer parked there and not somebody else from some other unit. No confusion.
So this is not general public, it's
Just the association owners.
does the association own those rights to those 4 spots, or is this something that,
We absolutely own them, yeah.
so it should
So
be
you
something on
actually-
our,
Yeah, when you bought your units, Peter, you bought you've got. You got your units, you've got the common area, and you've got parking. You legally. Have entitlement to use those.
but when they look at a fixed assets inventory, will that appear on there? I mean, it's like, it's part of the association, it's property that
Yeah,
belongs to the
there's a recorded
association.
easement, recorded at the county.
With the city, yeah.
With.
Because I remember the argument, they wanted us to get parking spaces down in the parking.
Yeah, well, that all
That
went away. So just so everybody knows, and it's the obvious problem then is, okay, since there's a gate opener. And there's only four openers. How does that?
One for each spot, is that the idea?
Yeah,
Okay,
so now, ultimately, I want us to, once they've sold all 4 units and everybody is clearly knows what the rules are. I would like to see a system where you want to come and, bring in a bunch of merchandise. You're gonna be there, parked there for 3 hours. You can make an appointment. We're gonna have an opener, up at the front, and if signs are not up within 2 weeks, I'm planning to go have signs ordered. And we're gonna put them up, which is really kind of aggravating. But again, it's part of how things.
Sharing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
They don't really care, so. But you paid for it. You paid for it. It's part of it. When you wrote a check for your units, that's part of what you got.
It's not high on their list of things to do. That's what it is.
Mhm.
We've talked about this before, and nobody ever, because you have to get a signage company, you have to get it approved by the city. And then you have to have someone put it up. And obviously they.
approved by the city when it's inside of a.
Well,
It has city approval because this whole.
No one will tow.
Okay,
No one will do or they can't issue a ticket, so it has to be approved.
okay,
But anyway, that's an important thing that we need to get done.
You said they're in the back.
The ones they're in the back. They're actually only big enough for compact cars, so I don't think Frank could even park.
I
there.
park there, it's a pain in the ass, so half the time I don't.
Well, I was thinking it could be a pain by just going in there and finding them all full and having to try to get yourself back out.
Well, it's not convenient. So, I mean, I tell you the truth, I don't go in half the time because of that.
Anyway, it's just, again, and I wanted to go on record as informing the other association members that during the entire, was it 2 or 3 years that it took them to build the units? During that entire time, they were using our utilities that we were paying for. The association paid for the electricity and the water for 3 years for that construction project, which is a big number. And at one point, Brian, who's our other board member, thought that it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000 or $30,000. Well, they owe us $20,000 or $30,000.
Keep saying it's been paid.
Huh?
Keep saying that.
What, does he have the cancel check? No.
Need to put pressure there.
Yeah, well, that's something else we're gonna work on, you know. Just so, you know, we get treated fairly.
Got a lot of to make up for.
I'm curious about the exactly what our assets are, and are they accumulating, or it's
Well,
bills being paid?
Well, yeah, we will, yeah. But this, the big thing right now is for everybody to know, yeah, we've got $200,000 in at Saratoga earning no interest. And now it's gonna start to earn. What Frank and I and some others have been aiming at is getting control of our own business. Instead of people 150 miles away who don't even know we exist. And so we've got a local management company. And we're gonna bring our money up, so it's up the street. So we know where our money is, who we can talk to and get some interest. And for 13 years, we have paid management companies to manage us in the most grossly negligent way possible. I want that to end. This is our business.
Makes all the sense in the world.
They have, you know, yeah, that's why we're here. So the other thing is, on 2 weeks from today, the Cannery Row Antique Mall as a business will have been open for 30 years. Think about it. 30 years. And we should pat ourselves on the back. That's a remarkable achievement, because I think the failure rate for small businesses is something like 50% in the first 5 years. So the fact that we made it through the first 5, and then another 25, we got through the big recession,
Cool.
the pandemic, and a number of other, you know, minor dramatic events.
Just having Yanakura was an event.
Well, Yanakura is another pandemic type thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should celebrate the fact and make use of the fact when we have done that. I've talked to Fran about it. So we're gonna have some kind of an event to let the public know how good we are.
Well, and use the pine cone and the Carmel paper to put that in our ad. I mean, they're always saying that, you know, we haven't changed, we don't, it's free. And we don't take advantage of it, but this 30 years, we should do that.
Yeah, and I would be happy to help write press releases or whatever you
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
me to do, and I know all these people, so, you know.
I saw the note in your newsletter. And I was trying to think of things too, knowing that not everyone wants to do 30% discount. I'm willing to make a $30 donation. But there was 2 ways to do it. I could say to buy in my space, or I would say to buy anywhere. You just say, this was a gift from a dealer. There's a $30 gift on a certain day, and I wonder how many other people would do that. Or if it's 30, can we give away 3 10s in the day? Or we've got to think of other things we can do. We used to throw some good events.
$30 gift certificates to the first 10 people to come in the door. Some kind of gimmick kind of thing. But what I would like to see is what Kathy's talking about, is to leverage normal, regular paid advertising with journalistic kind of stuff,
Mhm.
where there's a human interest story about this place down on Cannery Road that happens to still be there 30 years later. I mean, you're good at that. And here's what I propose.
Mhm.
We have an ugly hat contest.
That'll be fun.
We
Yeah,
have what?
an ugly hat contest.
An ugly hat?
An ugly hat contest. Okay, so here's how it would work.
Peter wins.
Yeah, no, come on.
All right, it's a toss up.
All right, just something, everybody's got a hat, right? So everybody can participate. And sooner or later in the course of one's life, you end up owning an ugly hat, right? I've got a few. So, this is the kind of thing that there can be an article about. There can be a story about the ugly hat contest.
Okay, so I got another idea.
Okay,
Call it the Mad Hatter contest
the man.
and have different categories. Maybe most creative hat, ugliest hat, something else.
Absolutely.
So,
And furthermore, you don't even have to live in we'll put this out in the universe.
mhm.
If you live in Arkansas and you have an ugly hat and you want to mail it to us, I'm serious.
We could have a display of ugly hats.
that would be fun.
Imagine this,
8,000.
and then we could have Jane Fleury dressed up as the Mad Hatter.
I'm getting about half of what you're saying. It's cutting in and out.
We could have
We're talking about a Mad Hatter contest where we would have categories for ugliest hat,
Yeah.
most creative hat,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah, it sounds fun. Sounds fun.
that's a great idea. Mad
Yeah.
Hatter.
And sorry, I'm jumping around, but getting back to the idea of reaching out to publications. So I would really suggest, and I can also help with this, the press release should go out to, I would send it out all over California, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we draw people from all over California.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
And you never know. I mean, they may not run it, or they may. You never know. So it doesn't hurt to try.
These small newspapers are always looking for something to fill, they want an article to have another page so they could put the advertising next to it, But, I think, if the person who ultimately won the Mad Hatter contest lived.
For the weekends on either end. Having
Okay.
more events. Cause we used to have a setup often right down there where we had. I remember wearing a hat and we were giving out lemonade and cookies.
We could have Mad Hatter parties,
It's coming in about half the time. Oh, there's Brandon.
I know. There's nothing I can do about it. We just have bad
Yeah.
reception.
Yeah, so just let Brandon know, because
Yeah.
Mad Hatter.
Uh-huh.
uh,
Oh, yeah, how fun. And
And
people
I could
who
just,
want to can come.
she's
and-
already in the costume.
Well, I was,
Yeah.
What am I gonna be?
well, I was thinking, yeah, people wouldn't just come in a hat, they could come in the whole work.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to have good times when we ran those events. It took
Also,
a lot of planning, and one
Mhm.
was good at it was Marjorie Snow when she would organize them.
Mhm.
But we did them at all different levels with all different
or
themes
a Mad Hatter costume party for the best costume,
on a particular day.
have a party.
Getting back to the press release,
Mhm.
which is a great idea. We should do that earlier instead of later, because it's 30 years in operation.
Mhm.
So this is something that should go out early, because as you said,
Mhm.
people will then be able to plan their trip.
Mhm.
Hey, we were going to Monterey. Let's go to Monterey,
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
and that.
Mhm.
And another thing that's happening, Monterey, you've got vintage finds, you've got antique shops that are opening all over the place. Monterey could and is becoming a destination, I think, as
Mhm.
far as for vintage and antiques. That's good for everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, that
absolutely.
brings people in, and the people that come are serious buyers that way.
Mhm.
Because they ask, when I'm at Vintage Finds and when I'm here, they're always asking, where else? And they go, I see them at different places.
They ask as much about that as they used to ask about restaurants.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
or
no,
where
it's-
to go.
it's-
We always
it's-
knew where to send them.
it's
behind
good if we
December.
become a destination. So I think that press release will also.
Which brings up another topic, which is like, Debbie Panak and I have been together for years and we've traveled all over the country. And you go to places, that like, Petaluma, which is known for antiques. When you go there, you walk into an antique store and they've got a guide
Of all the others.
that lists all the stores. I hear people asking for that all the time.
Mhm.
So I want to,
Yeah, and they have changed a lot too and moved, so
Yeah.
we need something new.
yeah, but what we need is we need the association, we've got the money, we should pay someone to put this thing together, to make it really professional. That could, and we'll include vintage and everybody, we'll go around and say, you want to be on? Because Frank is saying something really important, we are becoming a destination. So these other areas that have a lot of antiques and related things are capitalizing on that by bringing people in, you stay in your hotel, you get up in the morning and you want to go to 5 places, well, here's your list.
Mhm.
But we're gonna be the most prominent one on that list, because we made it.
Yeah, so I can start putting something together and you, when is the actual anniversary?
It's the 16th, but that's irrelevant because, it
It's
doesn't
the
have-
year,
it
30
doesn't-
years.
It doesn't have to be
Right.
on that date. It could
Okay.
be it can be any date that's convenient to us, but I think it should be maybe at the beginning of the summer, like when lots of tourists are coming here anyway, that we could have literature to pass out or whatever. We should really leverage this thing
Mhm.
Mhm.
into a good thing, which it
Mhm.
is.
Do you guys know, I thought at one point you couldn't hang signs outside anymore.
Well, we just do
For
it
the
and
big
then we just do it and they don't know, like,
Just do it big week or the big
yeah, I
day
mean,
or
like, by
whatever.
the time they find out, we're
It's already
done.
done.
They're just gonna tell you, take the sign down.
Yeah.
They give you 30 days to take the sign down, so.
Yeah. No, and I had another idea. We could have some guy dressed up as the Mad Hatter. Walking up here, on a busy, handing out flyers.
That would be super fun.
The
Yeah.
Mad Hatter,
Didn't we have something like
because
that
people
one
would be
time?
taking his picture.
Mhm.
But
We did, we had those heads.
You'd
People.
have Mad Hatter.
We had those heads at that one event, the New Orleans heads.
What,
That's what you're thinking of.
Jen?
Those were very effective.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Say that again?
Oh, one event, we had a big event that Marjorie Snow did, and we had these New Orleans heads, these giant heads. A friend of mine from New Orleans made them, and they just walked around, and they were quite the attraction. I'll tell you, the whole block was just packed with people outside.
Anyway,
Mardi Gras heads. They're these giant heads they use in Mardi Gras parades.
anyway, the press release, I'll start working on something. I mean, I think it would be good to get it out, like Frank said earlier, rather than later.
Mhm.
I can also, talk to a few people I know at the area newspapers and say, hey, this is a feature story you should really do about
You've
this
got the contacts.
business that has been around for 30 years, and here's all the things that have happened,
Mhm.
and they would probably want to talk to you as, kind of the founder of it. And so I would pass on your phone number if that's okay and make you available.
But before that, we need to have a plan
Mhm.
of what we're gonna tell them, like, there's gonna be an event on this date.
Well, we could just say events in connection with the anniversary to be
It's
announced.
coming, it's upcoming.
Yeah, but this gets the ball rolling. This gets
Yeah.
them alerted to the
Yeah.
fact that something
Okay.
special is going on here.
Okay.
And I do think sooner rather than later.
Okay,
And we could
So-
do it more than once too, if we do it once in June and once in September.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
just because we would have the training wheels off by September,
Yeah.
knowing about
But who's gonna be the Mad Hatter?
That's a good question.
Jane.
Well, I don't know why you're getting, I can only hear 50% of what you're saying. So I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, say yes.
Yes. I think you should have all those people who don't show up do things.
Okay, so I think this is wonderful. This is gonna be more fun than human beings should be allowed to have, you know?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Eric Queen. Just a quick question on that. I love the idea. What's the plan on advertising for that? Like, what's the plan on how do we get this thing in front of people?
Well, Kathy has been telling us that she's gonna run with that one because she's got all the connections with the publications.
Yeah.
Plus the weekly and the.
Yeah.
Pine.
So, but as far as paid advertising, is that something you do? Who does the paid advertising? Is anybody in charge of that?
Well, we're gonna have Janice work with the Pinecone and it's Monterey County, the Monterey County paper. We pay them.
Okay,
We have a regular ad in there.
okay.
And this is the part we're gonna
They're
do.
working on.
We're gonna change it.
changing of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
black card, just
And
the black
communicate
Right
a
now.
little better. We haven't had a marketing person. We used to have a marketing person that communicated with these two papers.
Yeah. Debbie Panak used to be.
Yeah, and before that, it was Marjorie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's,
But we got this great idea and now we have to implement it.
Yeah.
The young gal.
Yeah, no, definitely. Is there a way to get input from folks on other maybe venues for that? I mean, I know there's a lot of social media stuff. I'm not personally that up on that, but I know that that's a great way to advertise.
The person here that we pay to use social media.
Janine, yeah, no, she's great. She's awesome. She knows what's going on for sure. So
Definitely use Janine to promote this whole program.
okay, I'll talk to her offline on that in a little bit.
But we definitely need that's the next thing we need is a Mad Hatter.
Eric,
Yeah,
where's
I'm
Brandy?
mad enough for all of us.
Yeah, you're the guy. You'll fit the bill.
all right, great meeting.
All right.
Rush off.
Yeah.
Oh, are we ending? Is this the end?
I don't know, is this standard? Do we have other things to talk
I
about?
proclaim this meeting to be over.
Hey, can
Can
I
I-
say one
Go
thing
ahead.
to Kathy, since I've got you there, Kathy, Mackenzie? I know that Country Living Magazine puts free ads out specifically for antique things like flea markets and things like that, but they do need several months in advance. So
Mhm.
those national magazines will post things for free.
Right. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And magazines have a long lead time. I mean, maybe some of the things that we would plan for later in the year, we get in.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
can you
Okay.
send me an email with their contact information? Or
Yeah, I just saw one. I just started getting magazines again because
Mhm.
Girl Scouts make you buy them. But and I noticed they still do that. And but I did that one time years ago when I used to do more PR for the mall. And at that time it was 6 months in advance, but I don't think it's that far in advance anymore. But yeah, okay. I'll get you those magazines that do that.
Is the one she's mentioning, but
Yeah.
a lot of magazines will run
Oh, I see.
free. They usually call them briefs,
Okay.
they're not ads because they're not paid, they're just like little notices, so.
I see.
Like I said, we can try it, we'll see what happens, I will kind of make a list of some of the ones that I think would be good for that.
Okay, great. Yeah, so what the next thing we really need to do is have something, the concept pretty well formed about what we're gonna talk to them about.
Mhm.
So we need to work on the Mad Hatter concept and the specifics, the rules for the the ugly hat contest.
Mhm.
How is that gonna work? If someone mails us a hat from Italy,
Mm.
where are we gonna put it? How are we gonna, what are the specifics of
Which
someone?
determines it being the best as opposed to being not the best. Yeah,
What,
what would determine it
Yeah,
being
what-
the best hat
yeah.
as
and then-
opposed to it not being the best hat?
Well,
Well,
I mean, all judging.
We'd have to put together some guidelines, like basically a hierarchy kind of situation, I think, on that for what the best would be. But I really love this idea, by the way. I came on a little late, apologize for that, but it's really cool.
Yeah, so, but
What about?
the idea, Eric, is,
Just
what I propose is an ugly hat contest.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It might be,
smaller.
we might change that to a crazy hat or something.
Or just cool hat, like the
I think an ugly hat, there was a lighting store that operated on, Lighthouse Avenue for many, many years. It's right, a few blocks from us.
Kathy.
And every year
I'm a Kathy too.
they had an ugly lamp contest. They've done
nice.
20 years, you could bring in your ugly lamp, and if you won they paid like $500 for the winner. And so this is just another version of the ugly lamp contest. Because
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
thought,
I like it.
how many people want to, hassle with the lamp? A hat's easy,
Can I offer another suggestion?
Sure.
This would be for dealers,
Mhm.
owners and dealers. We have another contest for costume. Try to get dealers who are working here, but wouldn't be as big as your hat thing, which is gonna be, but in addition, just to motivate people who have spaces,
Mhm.
of a Mad Hatter costume.
So that would be a category within the contest if you're.
Yeah, you're
Decent.
in somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Within within the bigger one or just within, so that people.
Yeah.
We also had during that week or on the weekends or one weekend. It could be, we also have dealers who are here encouraged to come because we used to, when we had fancy events, encourage more dealers to come and be here, and we often had that. I remember, I was thinking of, what's her name who works in, Imlay, Ann Imlay, dressing up in a costume for one time, and I had on something and people all did. Sometimes it was for a different event, and then we would have things we gave away at the front door. Whether we were serving cookies and food or drinks or whatever, but just more ways to tie it in and get the dealers to come and do it too. Because we have so many not active dealers here that we don't see. We don't have the camaraderie we used to have.
Yeah.
So let's build it.
And that's one of the reasons, one of the things, one of my goals is to get back to
Yeah,
our beginnings when we were basically a family.
yeah, we all
in a
got so we knew
community.
each other.
And right now, let's face it, most of these dealers, they don't know anyone else.
Well, and I think part of that may be why Fran finds they come and they go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
I'm
part.
about to rent my little space pretty soon with a sign that says coming soon, and I'm either gonna do a 4-month or a 6-month at the beginning. Hey, for that length of time, then it's month to month. You don't have to pay it all, you just have to make a commitment.
A 4-month lease to begin.
Yeah.
Well, anything that brings is good, and the thing is that the potential here is much greater than what is being used.
Oh, yeah. We just survived for a while.
Yeah,
It's a huge resource, untapped, I think.
there's vast potential here. And we gotta start tapping and start making.
I think the whole look can change because there's a happiness with that and involvement when you know your neighbors. Just, my E4 space, I've gotten to know the new people that are coming in across that space for me, that have all this stuff from Big Sur. Nice people, but now we've become buddies and friends, including their dog. So.
You know who has a great deal of knowledge in the area of Mad Hatter would be Heidi. 'Cause she.
Oh, yeah, she used to have the Alice in Wonderland thing.
She's way into Allison. We should talk with her
Mhm.
about, we should start gathering pictures, images from the Lewis Carroll books, of the Mad Hatter.
Mhm.
There's the famous one, the Walt Disney one from the Walt Disney movie, the Mad Hatter. And that could maybe be our logo for this event. Everybody loves the Mad Hatter.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
I like that idea with the logo too. I said we run with that for sure. That's super cool.
Hey, Eric, do you have any Mad Hatter costumes?
I don't, but I can come up with one.
That's something to work on.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open.
Contacts and the Mad Tea Party.
Yeah, yeah. I could see like things attached to the costume, like cups of tea and tea, like little plates and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'll come up with some stuff. I have actually a question on that note too. So with Janice and the advertising, does she just kind of have like she can point blank do whatever, or is there a guideline that she's following, or what's the structure on that? Not that we need it. I'm just wondering, curious.
Facebook and Instagram, and I think most of what she does is she takes images of what's here, like some things that are for sale and spaces and whatnot, and puts them on Instagram.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
She's our
Yeah, yeah. No, it's great. The site's awesome.
Sure.
That's why I was just wondering if there was like any kind of write up for that was given to her. Or was it just like go ahead and run?
What she does, I'm not on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. And so she usually has a theme and she does do a little bit of writing. Like she had one about rabbits and Easter, and she was showing pictures of different dealer spaces that had rabbits and spring kind of things. And it was very nice. And
Cool. Yeah.
I
Great.
don't know, she comes up with those ideas, I guess, on her
On
own.
her.
Yeah, nice.
I'll talk to her too offline. We've discussed it a little bit. I'll talk to her too, just to kind of get a take from her. So
Yeah, I think we have the resources. We just need to use them.
cool. And is there anything like along those lines that we need to keep in mind, like things that we can and can't take pictures of, or anything strange like that? Is there any kind of established thing? I don't think there would be. I'm just like I said, just devil's advocate.
Whatever the guidelines are on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just through this site. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Very cool.
Get out there and
I'll find something.
find that costume.
So what? So I
Crazy.
like I mentioned, I missed the first part. What? When is this? The event that you're talking about?
We haven't decided yet.
yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're just kind of, formulating the concept of,
Gotcha.
but we were trying to get public attention based upon our marvelous success.
30 years.
Yeah.
Right on.
Business.
Incredible.
All right, meeting's over.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Kathy, for setting the Zoom up.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
And I apologize for the spottiness, but what I will do is I'll send you guys a link with the where you can watch the recording.
That's a great idea.
I don't, again, it'll probably have a few gaps here and there, but it's nothing, right? So
Well, for some reason now it's working a lot better. I don't know if it needs
I
to
know.
work.
Thanks, Tom.
Meeting's over.
It's Frank's fault.
Yeah, he was blocking.
Yeah, as soon as Frank left. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
And thank you. Deb.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh, of course.